Because of the complexity of the model of the head, I went ahead and made the head itself its own concept piece. Now I don't have the original concept art that was created for the character for the head specifically, so we're just going to have to use this. So the first thing I want to do is, just like in the previous video, we're going to set up our image planes. So I'm going to do this part pretty quickly because you should be used to it by now. So go to image size. You could see here that it's 2000 by 860 or 27.778. Now, just so we can be clear, we're going to go ahead and model our head in its own file as well. So let's go ahead and create an image plane in our new scene. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the front view. So spacebar, right click, front view. Create polygon primitive plane. And I'm going to go ahead and paste the width and height. I'm going to pause the video and paste the width and height from the Photoshop file. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assign a new material. I'm going to make it a Lambert, and I'm going to name it head texture. And I'm going to go to color, file, and I'm just going to go ahead and navigate to my head texture. Alright, I'm going to select that front face, shift right click, and go ahead and map it on Z. Alright, let's go ahead and hit Control D. Let's go to our attribute editor and rotate it -90. And just like we did before, I'm just going to go ahead and actually I'm going to go ahead and rotate this 90. There we go, that's a little bit better. I'm going to pull this just a little bit outside of this edge here. And in the front, vertex mode again. Double click my move tool, turn on preserve UVs, and begin to crop the side view of my character's head. Something like this. Let's go ahead and move the front view so that it's dissected, it's cut in half here. Something like this. I'm going to go to vertex mode, select these two verts. Okay. Go to object mode, and center pivot on both of these guys. Okay, what we're going to do next is go up to create, or actually we're going to go to our Demartian modeling tab. Looks like it didn't save off that cube. So let's make sure that's on there. I'm going to middle mouse and get rid of the sphere I created. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag out a cube and smooth that out. Alright, while in object mode, I'm going to go to the front view and line up the center line here. Let's do the same to the side view. I'm just going to pull this forward. Now I want to assign a new material to just the sphere so I can see through it. So I'm going to go to assign new material, Lambert, and name it head texture. Now the reason I'm also doing this is because the head itself has so many details in it that to go into X-ray mode would make it very hard to distinguish some of these features. So it's kind of nice to just have transparency on the sphere. So on every step of the way, before you add any loop or add any vert or whatever, you always want to ensure that the vertices you have are in the correct positioning. So from the side view, I'm going to go ahead and start to shape out this head. Now something I want to point out here is, let me turn off preserve UVs, is these two faces here are the front of our face. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that they encompass this entire frontal area. This here is the edge that runs just about where the ear is. This vertex here is the lower palate. So the sides of this sphere are as follows. These are the front of the face. These four are the side. These four are the top. These four are the bottom. So as we start to shape this, you have to keep that in mind the entire time you're modeling, so that you're not adding loops where they don't belong. Okay, let's make sure this is straight. Let's make sure that these guys are just about here. So what I'm going to do at this point is delete these two faces on the bottom. Go to edge mode. Double click this edge. Shift right click extrude edge. Hit R. Scale that in. Hit W. Bring it down a little bit. Shift right click again. Go down to extrude edge. So you can see that. And form the neck. Like that. Alright, while we're in the front view, let's go ahead and shape this out a little bit better. And I'm just sort of pulling them off to the side. I'm going to right click, go to face mode. And let's go ahead and lock these as well. So I'm going to select both of these guys. Control A to go to my attribute editor. Create a layer. Right click, add selected. And lock them. And double click this and name this as face underscore reference. Alright, so at this point, let's go ahead and finish this off by deleting half the faces here. Duplicating special over, so edit, duplicate special. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and save my file as Leo's head. And then in the next video, we'll start to model out we'll start with the eye socket.